the secrets of the dumper, not the dumpy. So my apologies, guys. I am recording a little bit late. It's Sunday night. I am a little bit tired, but I couldn't get this out of my heart. So I wanted to make sure to record this video tonight and post it. So relax, get your hot cup of tea or whatever you guys do in the evening if you're just watching it, and listen closely. So first, I know that this is a tough experience to go through as far as the whole breakup thing. It's very hopeless, helpless feeling that you may be having. And maybe a lot of you just actually want to feel like, is this person gonna feel regret? Do they still love me? Did they ever really love me? And now that they've gone and moved on from me and chose to end this relationship, what are they thinking about? What in actuality are they going through as it pertains to me? Because I kind of just want to know that I meant something, that they felt something for me. Or that they are, are they regretting it? Are they finding that maybe they acted too hasty? They jumped too fast at this thing called breakup. And so that's what I'm going to talk about today. A few of the secrets that dumpers will not share with the dumpee or friends or family. Because remember that when a person leaves you, they got to prove to themselves, to you, to their friends and family that they made the right choice. Because it is true that a lot of people do what's called a fake breakup. They do jump too fast and they are hasty in their decision. And many people do take a while, days, months, weeks, years, to finally end a relationship. And so when you are when a person's in the state of mind of wanting to leave a relationship, as we call them, the dumper, they've pretty much already convinced themselves that there's more than one or too many reasons for them to exit the relationship, and they really honestly just want to get to those options. They want to get to that freedom, right? They want to get to that part of their life where they get to experience the world, because according to them, being in this relationship is holding them back from happiness, exploration, growth, who knows. But this is what they've told themselves, and whether that's true or not is not for us to decide. As a person who's been dumped, I just realized at some point when I was dumped that I just had to respect what that person wanted. They didn't want me. They didn't want to be in a relationship with me. And as painful and hard as that was, I had to respect that, because I didn't have the right to force them to be with me. I didn't have the right to force them to love me. I didn't even have the right to force them to see that they had made a mistake and that I was perfect for them, right? Because those are my feelings, my assumptions, my perception. My job was just to work on me and heal and grow from that experience and take advantage of what is out here. And that's, pretty much the space you want to be in. But it still doesn't stop nagging at you like, my goodness, did this person ever really love me? So now that I've said all of that, let's get to it. So yes, dumpers have secrets. And I'm going to give you about 3 to 5 of the top secrets. Now, I do not write this stuff down. I'm talking to you by pure experience of years of experience, hundreds of people that I have coached and still am coaching. So I may say 3 and give you 5. I may say 5 and give you 7. So, we're about 8 minutes into this video. And if you've given up because I haven't shared the secrets yet, then watch the video later. But do watch it, because I think that you're going to really understand and benefit, and it's just going to give you a lot more power and give you back a lot more of your power as you start to understand this. But back to the dumper. The dumper has to prove to the world that they made the right choice. They got to prove it to you too, because they come with their tail tucked between their legs way too fast. They feel like they're admitting to a bad decision when it comes to leaving you. So secret number 1. When the dumper notices that you have gone into no contact, they secretly start to tell themselves that they are probably not as attractive, wanted, or valuable as they thought. And that happens for 2 reasons. The first reason is because when you finally go in no contact, and if they see any evidence via social media, maybe their friends or family have seen you around, maybe they've run into you and you've been doing work on yourself, you look like you're, improving the quality of your looks, you're having fun, you don't look upset, you don't look depressed, congratulations to you. because I hope that they're not seeing that. But let's just say that they see you or they've heard about you and they're not hearing from you. Then they start to tell themselves, oh my goodness, I'm not as attractive as I thought. Oh my God, maybe that person didn't love me like I thought. Why isn't this person chasing me? Why isn't this person blowing up my phone, my social media? Why hasn't my friends or family told me that they are calling them? Why are they no longer showing up at my job? Like, was I the one all along that didn't matter? And maybe they were the ones that wanted out of this relationship. Maybe they were the ones that had other options, and so on and so forth. So when I tell you that no contact is powerful, you will start to get your dumper to start having these thoughts and imagination scenes that are not true, but in their mind, that's what they're going to start telling themselves. And it is so bothersome to them that typically they will not share with anyone, because it's embarrassing. It defeats the purpose of leaving you. It devalues how they feel about themselves. And it's not something that you're doing or imposing, because by going into no contact, you're protecting your emotions. You're giving yourself space to heal, to reflect, to grow, to learn, and to just re-engage back into society. Because when we get into relationships, a lot of times we end up isolating ourselves from the world, our friends, our family, hobbies, just to love on this person. So you're kind of getting back to real life. So you're not doing it on purpose, but I'm just saying that these are one of the secrets. The second thing that they tell themselves about this idea that they've come up with is because the dating scene is horrible. It's crap. And what you see in social media is not what you get. And so when they are telling themselves, I'm about to break up with this person, they have already probably done a lot of watching, meaning they're watching social media, they're watching their friends, they're watching different types of circumstances that are telling them that the only way they're going to be happier, the only way they're going to find who and what they want is to exit the relationship. When they get into the real world and they find out that this is nothing like they thought, and they don't have a ton of women or men drooling over them like they assumed, they don't have a billion places to hang out at and enjoy themselves, they're not making the money they thought they were going to make being without you, etc., etc., they're going to again start to tell themselves, I'm nothing like I thought I was. I'm not the person I thought I was. I'm not getting what I thought I would get. In other words, when they realize that the grass is not green on the other side unless you water it like you were, they're going to start telling themselves, I freaking made a mistake. And they cannot tell anyone that. They may tell a best friend, but since most people's friends, if you were a good person generally, and the reason for their breakup was kind of bullshit, then people have already been telling them they made a mistake. So to go tell them or admit to it is shaming themselves. So it becomes a secret that they now have to contend with. And when I tell you that it will eat them up, it will eat them up. The second secret that a lot of dumpers will not share with you, friends, or family is that they're extremely lonely. And the reason for their loneliness is because humans are creatures of habits. And in a relationship, good, bad, or indifferent, people are used to what's familiar to them. And when a person goes out, has exited a relationship and meets somebody new, they are expecting to have this blissful, perfect, super social, overly stimulating life. And when they don't, they start to notice that dating becomes like an extreme interview job with every person that they're getting to know. Eventually their friends retreat from this extreme hanging out and their friends go back to their normal life. And then they finally see themselves without you. And they start to reminisce and they start to think about what it was that they shared with you. And when they can't experience that with you because they're the cause as to why it's not happening, why you're not there, and the people that they're meeting is just not suiting them, it's not stimulating them, they're not really attracted to them, they become very lonely. Okay, and that's something they can't tell no one because they don't want to hear the "I told you so." So just know that what you see or what you hear is an act. Most people that exit a relationship want to act dramatic in their ways of living because, again, they got to prove to the world that they are just like they thought. I am living this amazing life, and that's why I left Sue, John, or Bob, whatever your name is. And the reality is, it's bullshit. They're really not having that good of a time. They're actually more lonely than you probably could imagine. Probably more lonely than you, if you're even lonely at all. Secret number 3 is that they really absolutely at some point do want to talk to you. They want to reach out to you. But again, there's this thing called pride and ego. And while men mostly operate under pride and ego, women do too. You got to remember what a person is doing when they break up with you. They're literally leaving the relationship. They're leaving behind habits, routines, love, support. So when they decide to abandon all that to go live this so-called perfect life that they've imagined for X amount of time, and they find themselves, you not calling, you're not texting, you're starting to enjoy your life, and you possibly have moved on. Maybe they've noticed that you're dating. Maybe you have met someone that's becoming special to you. Maybe you've decided this person is no longer for you. Through that phase that you're going through, they're going through the, phase of, I want to talk to them. I want to call them. And for a couple of reasons. Some of them just want to know if you're still thinking about them, if you're hurting over them, missing them. They're curious. They need to understand why you're not chasing. But also, for the bigger part, they really genuinely miss you. They genuinely do still care about you. And they may not be sure about reconciliation yet, but they absolutely want to talk to you. And the reason that they don't do it is apprehension, pride, and ego. I left you. You've moved on. You're healing. Who am I to now interrupt the space that you're in? Because whatever you're doing is as a result of the choice I made to leave you. So they feel like they just don't have that right. And so a lot of times, it feels like they're being stubborn and reaching out to you. But in reality, they're eager to reach out to you. They just don't know how you're going to react. And they just don't know if you even want them to reach you or call you, text you. And some of them are just scared. Like, what kind of consequence am I going to pay? What kind of, can of worms am I going to open if I reach out to this person that I chose to leave? So that's secret number 3. Secret number 4 is that they absolutely cannot stand their rebound. A lot of people leave a relationship and they rebound immediately, not because they want to, not because they're super in love with someone else, not because they met the person of their dreams. They rebound because they want to forget about you. So rebounding is what we call monkey branching. And what that means is that they're swinging to someone else in an attempt to distract themselves from the agony of leaving you. Because once they hit the point where they realize that they have made a mistake, once they realize how much they miss you, how much they want to talk to you, and wonder why you're not around, why you're not calling, texting, and begging for their time, attention, and to bring them back into your life, a lot of times people end up in rebound relationships just as a mere source of distraction. And they develop anger, frustration, and even hatred towards the rebound because they're not you. They're looking for a specific type of attention. And that attention in that way can only come from you. And because they're not getting it from that person, or because when they first met the rebound, they had like a brief honeymoon stage and everything felt right. And when they settled into that rebound relationship or situationship, they started to realize that they really miss a lot of your ways, your presence, your companionship, your conversations, the routine with you, etc., etc. So once again, here's another secret. They cannot call you to talk to you about their rebound. They cannot call friends, family, cousins, best friends and tell them, I absolutely detest this new person I'm with, because all they're going to hear is, that's what you get for leaving the person you were with. Now, unless you cheated, unless you were extremely offensive or abusive or super neglectful, please know that you are not who I'm talking about, because those are offenses that are very painful, and justifiably a person should leave you for that. So if you are what I just described, extremely neglectful towards the person that left you, verbally, psychologically, mentally, or physically abused them, or cheated or constantly cheated, you got a lot of personal things that I would recommend you work on first, because you cannot inflict that type of pain on people. And you will always be left, because that is something that someone cannot tolerate for long. But if you were generally a good person, you were loyal, you were honest, you were giving, affectionate, and maybe some things along the way just got a little bit bumpy, then that person at some point will start to have nostalgia. They'll become nostalgic about what you guys shared, because in reality it was good, and they love you and they miss you, and they're wondering, what the hell am I doing right now? How did I leave a great person who I truly could have worked with, and we could have fixed it, and instead I gave up and I left, right? That is the typical expression that they tell themselves. But they can't tell no one else, because once again, they're going to be told, I told you so. And so that is yet another secret. And then the very last secret, that I would say that a dumper has is just basically the idea that, when they decided to leave the relationship, there was that point where they actually did a lot right before they ended it to work on their relationship. And a lot of us have felt like this dramatic change for the best, which is why we all get so caught off guard, so blindsided, the carpet pulled out from under us, because things generally get really good before a breakup. And that is because they're looking at, well, what if I just really work on this and I work on that, as opposed to just leaving? And then they still feel this thing that's saying, you got to leave, you got to exit. When they are done in the relationship, wherever they are in the phase of that relationship, one of the other secrets that dumpers have is, why didn't I stay there? Why didn't I just keep going and working on it? And why didn't I just express to them that I wanted to leave, or I want to end it, but I want to work it out? Because a lot of people that leave relationships don't verbalize that. They just leave. They just exit the relationship. But they find themselves trying to work on it before they leave, and then they just tell themselves, I gotta get out of this. I'll be happier if I'm not in it. And they don't verbally communicate their true concerns. They don't verbally communicate the idea that they want to break up with you. And so that particular thing just is a constant nag, and it's a true regret, because they'll never know what it could have been had they just communicated that to you. And instead they just ended it, and they left you not knowing in reality why they left. Because a lot of dumpers will give you some bullshit excuses as to why they left the relationship. Oh, it's just me, I gotta work on me, I just got things to accomplish, I just don't see a future with you. Listen, the reality is, I'm just not attracted to you like I used to be. I'm just not fond of our relationship anymore. I'm bored in the relationship. Those are generally the top reasons why people leave relationships, because everything else can be worked out. And so because they don't express the truth, because they don't tell you the truth, at some point they start to feel that they've hurt themselves more than they hurt you. And they don't know how to get out of that rabbit hole. And so it's a very tough conversation to have with anybody, because this is what they did to themselves. They hurt you, they hurt themselves, and now they don't know how to bridge that back together. So I'm hoping that this helped you, because I know that being left in a relationship feels like you're not worthy or valuable or an amazing person. And trust me, you absolutely are. But I wanted you to understand that the person that left is also human, and also has emotions and thoughts and desires and dreams. And sometimes they're going to make some poor choices that are going to inflict some pain on you. And you can't assume that it's always intentional. This is why it's important to give them the breakup, give them their space, and go radio silent through the no contact rule immediately if you haven't already done it. So please let me know what you think about this video. Please post your comments, share. Please do subscribe, support my channel, because I don't know how algorithms work, but I'm assuming that, I don't know, the more subscribers I end up with or the more people comment, that more people are going to see my video. Just an assumption. But do know that I do this because I love it. I want to help you guys out. And so on to the next video, and thank you for tuning in.